Race drivers have been using simulators for years in Formula One and these really high-end exotic locations, but for those of us in sports car and smaller teams, it's only recently become more available.
Nowadays the simulations are so good that seriously when you drive any of those tracks out there on a simulator like iRacing, they look just like they do in real life.
If at all possible, I go on iRacing and look it up on there and learn the track, because that layout, knowing when you're going to turn left and right, is critical, and there's nothing more accurate than the iRacing software.
It makes the transition much quicker. In iRacing you can kind of play with the line too, so if you're turning in early you can tell, because you'll be running out of track, and so you can go, oh, I need to turn here, and so then when you get to the track in person you make the right turn-in spots, and since it's laser scanned, the turn-in spots are identical, so it really helps. Just to give you an example, I went to Road America for the first time 3 years ago. I'd never been there before. I'd done maybe 100 laps in iRacing. It took me 4 laps to get to the track record pace.
One of the ways to get the most out of the service is to get the hardware tuned to what you need as a driver. If you like a heavy wheel, for instance, with a lot of force feedback, spend the time to get the hardware correct. Spend the time to make sure you have a computer that will run the sim efficiently. You don't need a supercomputer, but you do need a computer that's fit for gaming. One really important component is braking. As a driver, you use all of your senses to be an efficient braker when you're in the race car. Braking is where a lot of the best drivers kind of make up time on others, especially if you might be lacking on the horsepower side of things. So getting the brake pedal right for you in sim is extremely valuable.
Well, you can actually, in iRacing, you can set up the car really well. So if you're driving a car that's similar to the one you drive in real life, you can actually use a lot of the same changes you'd make. Tire pressures, you can adjust the sway bar and stuff like that. So if the car isn't handling right, you can make it handle a lot better.
Some drivers actually participate in our racing series, and there isn't anyone that I know who uses our software who doesn't feel an increase in their blood pressure.
I will be sitting in our living room sweating in a 72-degree temperature because you really work that hard and you're focused that much, but there's definitely value in it.
As one of the coolest things about it is you can race against Dale Earnhardt Jr. I raced against him in one of the races a couple years ago and beat him, which was pretty cool. But you can get in with these big guys. Lewis Hamilton was on there with me, Justin Wilson. There's a lot of these big guys that are on there, and it's really cool to be out there on the track at the same time as them. So I try everything in iRacing that I would try in real life, but there's no consequences in iRacing.
No matter what you do, fear is a tool that helps you control the race car, lets you know when it's too far, and when you lose that factor on a simulator, it's never the same. It's less expensive than driving a race car for sure, because you can do so many laps at the same cost, and if you crash, well, there's no damage.
Can't take it flat in this car. You got to breathe it just a little bit. Try it flat. That's what happens when we try it flat.
Now we know.
See, but look, we experiment. So we just found out we cannot take that flat. So now we reset. And look at that, we're good as new.